TG Geeks, episode 296, October 19th, 2020. Max Shorts in the multiverse. Hello, and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely, it's still over 100 degrees, Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, coming to you from my own little allergy hell.
Yeah.
Here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, I got a little confused there on my tag, because it'll make sense when
you hear
talk to And let's get on with it.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the two gay geeks are discussing this.
Well, we are going to talk to Zachary Wheeler, who is the author of the Max and the Multiverse series and several of it's called the Max Shorts. And it's little...
Max's Shorts?
Max's Shorts, yes.
Oh, my.
And if you read Sparkle Pirate, you'll know what that's all about. Then we're going to have our birthday shout-outs, our featured podcast.
This is going to be one of those episodes.
Yeah, everyone's favorite feedback, yes. Our shout-outs, our second segment, we got a couple of interesting things to talk about, our weekly recap, and our regular shout-outs. And we're going to get right into talking to Zachary. And we welcome back one of our favoritist authors that we just love his work, Mr. Zachary Wheeler.
Touchies!
Yes.
Hello,
Welcome back.
It's great to chat with you again. Yes. And I will say I'm thrilled to be back on one of my favorite podcasts.
Oh, well, thank you.
Aw, shucks.
Shucks, yeah. So for those that have not listened to any of your other interviews,
go back.
Shame on you.
Listen to them now.
Shame on the listener, that is.
Pause and go back and listen to all of them.
Yes, absolutely.
So give our listeners a brief description of the elevator pitch as if you were going to the top of the Empire State Building of who you are, where you came from, how you got started writing, and then we'll do something else.
Sure thing. My name is Zachary Wheeler. I am a science fiction novelist who has a penchant for humorous sci-fi, which we'll chat more about. I also have my two main series are Max and the Multiverse, which is a sci-fi comedy, and The Immortal Wake, which is a tech noir series, a little bit more darker and serious. My life is a strange and perilous place, full of good beer and bad puns. So
yes.
I did not start out to be an author. I guess that would be the best way to describe my my writing world. Just kind of oopsie-doodle backflipped into it, and I've been doing it for several years now, and it's quite entertaining. I enjoy it, and it's a good way to spend some downtime.
Yeah. You've we met you, 3, 4?
4, I think.
4 years ago?
This is going on 4 years now.
Yeah,
it was 4 years ago at Phoenix Comic-Con, yeah.
Well, because Transient has just come out.
That was 2016, and I think I was in Phoenix that next year.
Yeah. So anyway, you have a bunch of stuff out. You've got the Immortal Wake series, and how many Max books is it? 3?
The 3 Max novels.
So it's 3 Max novels, and the 4th short is going to be out. Actually, I believe next week. So that'll be my 10th title.
Wow. So
double digits.
Yeah, the Max and the Multiverse. You want to just briefly, because you give a real good intro into the Sparkle Pirate of what Max is. Yeah.
So Max in the Multiverse is a sci-fi comedy series about a bumbling nerd who shifts between parallel universes whenever he falls asleep. It's very much a laugh-out-loud read similar to Douglas Adams, or for modern audiences, I also like to describe it as the novelization of Rick and Morty. Way to look at it.
I love Max.
I draw a lot of influence from those series, so it's a similar in vein to that comedy style.
And so then there was Max in the Multiverse was the first one, and then Max and the Snoodlecock.
And then Max and the banjo-playing ferret.
Which
makes sense once you read the book.
It makes perfect sense. All you need to know. That's all. That's the only intro you really need. So
exactly, and then
all questions answered.
Yes, and then you've got the 3 Max shorts plus the 4th one. The first one, oh my God!
Oh, that was
when I read that. That was you had just. It was just going out. You sent me the advanced reading copy, I think, the day before it came out. And it was like, oh, my. I screamed at that. It was
so warped. So unbelievably warped.
Because it was like, holy criminy. You get to the end because there's always, at the end of the shorts, there's always that twist at the end.
Oh, that was a Mobius twist.
It was.
It was so, I mean, there are no words to describe how whacked out that ending was, sir.
So that was the item of monumental importance.
Yes.
And then there was, what was the next one? The Nibble Nom?
The next one was Nibble Nom Death Trap.
Yes.
And Sparkle Pirate is the 3rd one, and the next one coming out, or the new one coming out this week is Hissbot Hank.
Yes.
So this is interesting. You've got these shorts coming out. So it tells me that there's a little bit of Max that's still screaming to come out.
Oh, good Lord, yes. So I will say that. So the whole reason behind the Max and the Multiverse shorts, there's a couple of reasons why these started to become things, and that was the main reason was that I had an idea for a shift. And whenever I say shift, I mean when Max wakes up to a new universe. I had an idea that, or I had interesting ideas that didn't really push the main story forward. They were just a lot of fun in and of themselves. So they became this kind of backlist of things that I would like to fit in somewhere, but I just could not connect them to the main storyline. So I thought, well, these would actually make good standalone shorts, like just something I could, a little bit longer than a chapter that I could write as like little intros into the series. And that's the other thing I wanted to do, was make them completely contained in and of themselves that would actually serve as an additional entry point. So you don't have to actually start with the book or have read any of them at all. You could just pick up one of any of the shorts and use that as your intro into the series.
Yeah.
So as soon as I started thinking of them like that, a lot of these ideas started to materialize. The item of monumental importance was the big one, because I had had so many fun ideas that I really wanted to put into the main story, but I just couldn't. And it was just turning into this hysterical idea that I really wanted to put out. And that's where the first short started. And then the final reason is the shorts give me an opportunity to poke fun at other genres.
Right.
Like the item of monumental importance is a spoof of epic fantasy.
Right.
Nibble Nom Death Trap is a spoof of action horror. Sparkle Pirate is a spoof of speculative romance, and then Hissbot Hank is going to be a spoof of mercenary teams, like think the A-Team and stuff like that.
This Sparkle Pirate, I have to say that the twist on that one had me screaming as well. And then Hissbot Hank was pretty damn good too. I'm just waiting for Fun with Phil.
Oh, I know. It's Phil. I've had this short for Phil in the works for a really long time. The thing that really gets for the listeners, Phil is a fan favorite character from Snoodlecock, and he also makes an appearance in Banjo Ferret. And he's so much fun to write and such a hysterical character. I really wanted to give him his own short. A lot of the problems I'm facing with it, and quote unquote problems, is that I've given so much of his character attention in Snoodlecock that I'm trying to figure out avenues to give new information. And Phil is such a hard character to introduce to the reader. So giving him his own standalone short is a little challenging just because I need to just basically not rehash the Phil chapters of Snoodlecock.
Yeah. So, well, maybe it's Phil is a novella.
Oh, that's a good idea. Just give him his entire standalone novella.
Well, you could
story.
You could, because I don't know. You in Snoodlecock, you really didn't go into how he came to be. I don't think really.
Yeah, I didn't go into too much detail. Yeah. I gave enough to where it wouldn't bog down the main story.
Yeah,
it gave us a good introduction.
Gave him a little intro.
Yeah, there was a good introduction to him, but there was not much of an origin to him.
Yeah, it could be an origin story and how he.
Oh no!
Oh dear! And then and then there could be the Phil standalones, the Phil shorts.
The Phil spin-off series. That's right.
Oh God!
And the universe was never the same.
Exactly. Yeah, he was a fun character.
Well, any character that doesn't want anything to do with Max on a touchies situation kind of speaks for itself. And yes, audience, I realize that's an inside joke. You really need to read these in order to understand them because it's hilariously funny.
Yes. So with that,
I'm so happy Phil came across because he was. I remember when I was, and not to keep it on Phil, but it's. I remember when I was first writing Snoodlecock, and I was writing these chapters with Phil, and it was just so much fun, and it was making me laugh so often. I was worried that his nature wouldn't translate very well, and it was either going to be extremely uncomfortable or a shared humor, and thankfully it ended up being the latter.
Cool. Yeah, I do like Phil a lot because he's so over the top.
Mm-hmm. But he's so
I think his innocence is what really makes it fun and engaging and not uncomfortable.
Right.
Just uncomfortable for everybody else.
Exactly.
That's right.
Jeez. Anyway, we've alluded to that, but apparently there's another Max novel, if you want to give us a hint on that and
sure.
Let us know. I know that you're probably not even in the process, but if you can give us any information.
No, of course. Well, I will say it's kind of a pleasing and displeasing reveal. It is a quote-unquote Max book, but it does not include Max. It is a Max spinoff.
Ah.
So it is, and the first book has been written. The first draft is complete. I'm currently in the editing process, and hopefully it'll be released soon. It's another sci-fi comedy. It's a brand new series, and it has a lot of the elements of Max, and it actually takes place on the Durangoni space station from Max and the Snoodlecock. Mm-hmm. So it is much more of an adult humor sci-fi. I mean, Max has a lot of adult humor, but it's kind of gauged across the spectrum.
Right.
This particular one, I had an idea for a new series that kind of tells that takes the form of an interview series, similar in vein to the way I like to describe it is it's kind of a marriage between World War Z and Creature Comforts. Do you remember that old claymation?
Yes, actually, I do.
Yes. where they kind of talk to all the creatures in the cages, and they have all these hysterical little bits and interviews, and it's very much played as this kind of comedic ensemble. It's like it's that kind of humor, but in a World War Z kind of format.
Interesting.
And a World War Z wow, that's a mind bender.
It's so strange, but it's a strange series to describe. But I mean, once I give you guys an advanced copy, it'll start to make more sense. But have you guys read World War Z?
No,
and of course
I
completely separate the movie World War Z from the book World War Z.
Admittedly, I'm not much of a zombie fan.
Yeah.
Sure. It's not my particular genre. So I've been told the book is good.
The book is fantastic. It's one of my all-time favorite books, and it's specifically due to the format it uses. So World War Z, the movie, is just an entirely different thing. It's just an action zombie flick. What World War Z, the book, is an interview series post the global zombie war. So it's this interviewer, it's this journalist who is talking to all the survivors across the world and about their experiences, and it's presented as that kind of format. So he's learning about how humanity coped with this devastation through the eyes of all these individual characters. And that's what really makes the book compelling. And Max Brooks does such a good job in presenting it that way that like halfway through the book, you're almost convinced that this is the way it happened, or this like happened for real. It's extremely well done, and it's very compelling. But I specifically loved that format of storytelling, and I always wanted to attempt a similar version. And then once I got this idea for the space station story, that's where it kind of gelled into this new series. So I have like my quote-unquote journalist who is chronicling the exploits of one of the station residents that sparked like this huge event that affected everybody. And then it's, of course, science fiction comedy in that regards. And that's why I kind of invoke the creature comforts kind of vibe.
So speaking of just complete derailed train of thought and and off into something else, talking about zombie and this and that and the other. Have you seen The Dead Don't Die?
No, what is this?
Oh my God!
Oh, you have to see that.
You have to see this thing.
Oh goodness! Is it a movie?
It's a movie and it's out.
Yeah,
it came out last year.
It's probably it may even be on Netflix or Prime or
it's available
or somewhere. But it's with Bill Murray and Adam Driver.
Done. You don't even have to say any more. It's like you had me at Bill Murray.
Oh, and yes. What's her name?
Shoot,
I can't remember her name.
Shoot,
the ancient one from Doctor Strange.
Oh, poop.
Oh, Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton. She's in it too. She steals the movie.
Lord.
She steals this movie.
Tilda.
Yes. And it's just...
She steals the movie and Bill Murray is in it?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
That's...
Adam Driver...
Adam Driver...
Have my night.
Adam Driver is... You know how Bill Murray always has this really dry delivery in everything that he does?
Yeah.
Adam Driver outdries Bill Murray.
Wow. And I love me some Adam Driver, too.
This
that's
movie,
a hell of a cast.
It is an amazing cast. This movie is hilariously funny.
It is just,
awesome.
It pokes fun at itself.
Yeah, it's very self-referential.
Oh, I love those kind of movies. Is it like similar in vein to Zombieland in that regard?
Drier. Much drier.
Much drier.
Yeah, this is
How did this escape me? It's like I'm actually kind of ashamed I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, we caught it at a screening, a movie screening last year, or 2 years ago before the pandemic. And I'm trying to remember who the heck actually did this film.
Jim Jarmusch.
Yeah, that's it.
Is his Jarmusch? He's a horror guy, and it just. There is one scene. Oh my God!
No, don't go there.
No,
don't go there.
You. Oh my God!
you would love this movie, and I wouldn't be surprised if it actually informs how you write future stories.
Yeah.
I always, I always look for those clever comedic elements to completely plunder. So absolutely. Be tossing it into the queue right after our chat.
I'm sure you will pick up lots of things because it is just so bizarre.
That's fantastic. That sounds right up my alley.
You will really love this film.
You'll like it. Anyway.
Oh, good.
Okay, so now that we derail the audience on that
sorry about that. We've talked about that film.
But I'll bring it back and answer the original question of, yes, there is a Max book 4 in the works, and I've already started the initial work on it. So it is coming.
Cool. Yeah, Keith and I were talking.
The whole series is open-ended.
Yeah, Keith and I were talking about that last night, and said, well, he can't write it until it's ready to be written.
Yep.
Yeah, the characters have to start talking to you before you can actually start taking dictation and writing down their latest exploits.
Exactly.
Yeah. So with all that comedic stuff that you're doing, I mean, I know that obviously humorous sci-fi is your forte, but as demonstrated with Immortal Awake, you are also an extremely, amazingly accomplished serious writer as well. I mean, are you looking at dipping your toe into that area one more time?
Yes, in the sense that I do have several initial stories, or like the initial outlines of new stories. The only problem with, and I think we had touched with this during our Mortal Vestige talk, is that timing is everything whenever you're writing those kinds of stories. And the Mortal Vestige took it out of me. It really did.
Yeah.
It was a difficult book to write. And it put me into almost a recovery mode of sorts, because in a way it's easier to write dark stuff when the real world is stable.
Oh yeah.
So whenever you're in throes of seriously contentious times, or perhaps maybe a global pandemic is ravaging the planet, it's not a fun time to write dark stuff.
It'll take people right off the edge.
Exactly. It's like, on the flip side, it's a great time to write comedy. So it gives me that kind of lift that I need whenever things are a little hectic.
It's an interesting psychological study.
I've really plugged in.
That's very interesting. That dystopian stories tend to be very popular when everything is kind of stable around, but when everything is just completely falling to crap, that's when everybody's looking for the more lighthearted. It's interesting how society is always looking for that kind of balance, either as a creator or as an audience.
I've even seen that from a strictly ROI perspective, because I have like all of my ad revenue coming in and my sales revenue coming in, and I'm constantly balancing all of those promos and sales, and I've gotten like my Amazon dashboards and all that kind of stuff, and I witnessed a steady decrease in the interest in the Immortal Wake and a steady increase in the Max and the Multiverse series since the beginning of the year. It's like it's been very interesting to watch. I mean, you can look at it on the graph, and you can see when things started to go downhill. That's exactly when the Immortal Vestige started, or when the Immortal Wake started to trail off, and exactly when Max started to tick up. Max is actually doing quite well right now. Cool. I'm having the best sales of my life right now with the Max series, but the Immortal Wake is still kind of sitting below baseline.
Right.
Well, hopefully the world will get better soon enough so that people can, because as depressing as Immortal Wake and all those books were, I still maintain they're some of the best writing that I've read, in a very, very, very long time. It was brilliant work.
I thank you, Ben. And your reviews of The Immortal Wake, I still consider my street Oscars.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much. But this is not about me. This is about you. So with all of that, where can people find your works? Where can they, delve into the world of Max? And how can they finally, when his spot comes out next week, where will they be able to find that as well?
Sure thing. The easiest place to find me is on my main author website. That's ZachryWheeler.com, complete with the strange spelling, ZACHRY, Wheeler.com. And from there, the easiest way to keep up to date with all of my happenings is to subscribe to my newsletter, which you can do from the website. And I also have a blog, which I keep readers up to date with current happenings and thoughts and interesting musings. And then I'm all over, and each you can find all of my books on my website, each of which has its own page and links to purchase through Amazon, and that's the best way to find me.
Cool. And your Twitter?
Twitter is Zachary Wheeler as well, so just same spelling.
Yep. And you're on Facebook, and do you have Instagram?
I used to. I have actually left Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, okay.
So I am no longer participating in the platforms.
I see. Okay.
It's kind of a half situation where they were consistently my least performing social media platforms, and the whole privacy concerns started to become a little too big to ignore. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just not going to be part of that anymore.
Yeah.
So my social media presence is limited to Twitter. But most of my activity is in my website, blog, and newsletter.
Cool. Well, this has been really great. I really appreciate you agreeing to talk to us again.
Oh, of course. It is always a pleasure to talk to you guys. I always look forward to it, and it's always a delight when I hear from you guys.
All right. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me again, and we'll do it again soon.
Yes.
Hello, this is Zachary Wheeler, science fiction novelist, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
As always, it is fun to talk
Always
to
a
Zachary.
pleasure.
Always a pleasure. And we always laugh just at the crazy stuff. And we kind of digress there a little bit.
Yeah, but it kind of turns into a bunch of inside jokes.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
You have to read the books to understand. And I would encourage you to pick these up, whether it's the Max and the Multiverse series or the shorts. You can start with the shorts and really kind of get a feel for it. They're 99 cents most of the time, and you can pick them up, and it'll give you some idea of what Max is all about. And here's a few selected birthdays for October 19th through October 25th, 2020. October 19th, Jon Favreau.
Who's become like everybody's favorite director all of a sudden because he makes good stuff.
Yeah, he's the original independent filmmaker, if you will. Iron Man, and parlayed that into Marvel and Disney.
Yeah, but the movie that I think I love best is Chef.
Yes. It's about family.
And food.
And food.
It's a marvelous movie.
Yep. And then we have Michael Gambon, Gosford Park, Harry Potter, a ton of other things.
I'm sure he's done Doctor Who somewhere.
Yes,
he did. He did do Doctor Who. That's right.
I forgot about that. October 20th, Bela Lugosi. What do you say about Bela Lugosi?
Bleh.
Bleh. I'm going to bite your neck. Bleh. Which he never said.
He never said that.
It's just become this.
It's become this meme sort of thing. Yeah, but no, he never said that.
Yes. Original Dracula, among other things, and his last film was Plan 9.
Oh,
from outer space, which he died during the filming of it.
During the filming of it, yeah, and so that was tragic.
And Ed Wood gave him the part just because he loved Bella, and
Well, I think Bella appeared in one or two of Ed Wood's films, but Plan 9 was his last one.
Yep. And then we have Charles Ives, composer, insurance salesman, church organist. Atonality is definitely, and his most accessible piece is Variations on America.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a fun piece. And then Jerry Orbach, actor, singer, Lumiere, and, Beauty and the Beast, as well as... what can you say?
He started off his career heavily as a Broadway singer and then found that he really wasn't getting enough credit as an actor, so he started pushing away from the singing and really moving towards the acting. And then finally, especially when time of Beauty and the Beast came around, I think there was some talk about having him just voice the character of Lumiere. Now, of course, this may be just totally apocryphal, but looking at maybe somebody else singing the part, and he's like, wait a minute, I sing. So it's interesting how we kind of ping-ponged back and forth between being a singer, being an actor, coming back to being a singer before he sadly passed away.
Yep. And then we have a Facebook friend and filmmaker, Sam Garcia Southern, and a former classmate of mine, John Derrick, and a friend of ours, Sue Hodge Parker. October 21st, Carrie Fisher.
Everybody's favorite princess.
That's exactly what I wrote down.
Oh, my.
Everybody's favorite Princess Leia.
Oh, sorry. I swear I didn't look. I just said that off the top of my head.
You can't see my notes that I have over here. And outspoken and just spoke her mind.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
It was always a risk every time you had her on a talk show.
Oh, my gosh.
You
never know what she was going to say.
Yeah, it was always a crapshoot.
What mood is she going to be in today?
Yeah.
And then we have Joseph Canteloube, composer, Songs of the Auvergne, which were based on some French folk songs, and just wonderful music. Then we have Facebook friends, CJ Johnston. October 22nd, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, actor, Out Gay Man, Modern Family. And then we have Derek Jacobi, actor, British theater.
Out Gay Man.
Out Gay Man, played Claudius in I, Claudius.
Did what I think is probably,
Oh, my God.
it's a small part, but he played probably the most chilling version of the Master I had ever seen in Doctor Who.
Yes. And then we have Jessica Butler on October 22nd. October 23rd, Michael Crichton, sci-fi writer, among other things.
My goodness.
One of his favorite stories that was made into a movie was Andromeda Strain.
Right.
Oh, my gosh. We watched that like once a year.
At least
once a year.
Sometimes several times a year.
I love that
It's a
film.
fabulous movie.
I loved it since the first time I saw it in the
The
theater.
original, not the remake.
Oh, my God, no. And then Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, wow. Crazy Man.
Crazy Man. We saw him, was it last year?
It was last year.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Last
We
August.
had fabulous seats.
Oh, it's fantastic. Well, I thank Lee Whiteside for that one because he supplied the pre-sale code. So I was able to get in on the pre-sale and get us really awesome seats. But holy smokes, that was such a fun concert. And what amazed me more than almost as much as Al, but how many people we knew in the audience.
I know.
It was like
amazing.
a nerd fest.
It was. October 24th, F. Murray Abraham, actor, played Salieri. That was in Amadeus. That was his big breakout role. But
Got him an Academy Award.
He actually had a role before that in The Ritz.
Oh, my
as Chris.
God. He is so good in that movie.
Oh, my gosh. And he was in Star Trek Insurrection and the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, I
among
love
other
the
things.
Grand Budapest
Oh, my
Hotel.
God. What a strange film, but I loved it.
I love that movie.
It was just
It
so
is
bizarre.
so offbeat, really strange, beautifully shot.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
yes.
it's really about the filmmaking style that makes that movie so special.
Yep.
But as far as F. Murray goes, he says one of his favorite acting experiences was on Insurrection.
Interesting.
He loved being on a Star Trek movie. He's a Star Trek fan. His kids are Star Trek fans.
Huh.
And he loved being on that film. And he said that it was the nicest crew he had ever been on. And he said, I would love it if they'd welcome me back. I would be on a Star Trek show anytime they'd ask me to.
Wow. That's great. And then we have Bob Kane, comic book artist, writer,
Batman.
the creator of Batman. Exactly. October 25th, Georges Bizet, composer. He wrote Carmen, La Troya, and Pearl Fishers, which probably has one
the
of
most beautiful duets for
the
men.
most beautiful male duet.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
in all of opera. And then Pablo Picasso, a Spanish artist, primarily a painter, who lived most of his life in France. He founded the Cubist movement, and some of his later work was very surreal. Mm-hmm. And then we have a good friend of ours, Greg Hall. Happy birthday, Greg.
Happy birthday.
And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go give a listen to our friends Chuck and Craig over at Technorama Podcast. Sorry. No.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counsellors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
Now it's time for this one.
Yes, this is our favorite feedback section. And each of the links for these items will be found in the show notes for this episode at tggeeks.com, episode number 296. Starting with, regarding TG Geeks episode number 294, we sent out a birthday greeting to the Grand Poobah of Arizona Opera, Joseph Spector. And he said, "Thanks for the birthday wishes, TG Geeks." And then moving on, this one, I really went back and forth as to whether I should share this one or not. Regarding Ben's gay breakdown, forget The Raven saying nevermore. How about Never Again? This is a movie that was on Here TV that was put out by David DeCoteau, and it's dreadful. It's a horrible film, one of the worst I've ever watched, and I did a review on it. So we got some interesting comments. First, from David Eric, he said, "Saw this. Very interesting ending." And of course, that's putting it kindly. It's the most bizarre, bonkers ending I've ever seen. The problem is that this is not an Academy Award winner movie. Any movie by David DeCoteau is going to be cheesy but delicious eye candy of hot guys getting it on in some way. Well, yeah, you're right about that, but hey, I gotta call it as I see it. Then we got a comment from Jesse Garcia. "Wow, a 2-bit review of a 2-bit film. Groundbreaking."
Okay.
I stand by my review. That's all I'm going to say. Moving right along. Regarding Screwball Noir Short, The Hit, scheduled to world premiere at LA Shorts Fest. First, from Hillary Barraford, she says, "Thank you, TG Squared Studios, for the announcement." And then from The Hit, the short film has their own entity on Facebook. They say, "Thank you, TG Squared Studios and Chick Art Public Relations." And then lastly, because it's always nice to end on an up note, regarding This Got Made, hosted by Carlton Tetley, episode 10, Lady Cop number 1, and this is one of the funniest of them all.
Yes.
Got a comment from Jeannie Koch. She says, "OMG, these get funnier every time." And yes, they do. And that is our feedback for this week.
Yeah, and thanks to Al Sparrow and his wife, Michelle Snyder. They are the creators of the This Got Made series.
I love it so much.
Oh my gosh, it's just, they're so warped.
And you really do need to see it from the beginning, because there is a progression that leads
it's a mini arc.
Yeah, there's this let's just say it's a little character arc for Carlton himself.
Yes.
Which leads to episode 10.
Yes. And if you want to comment on anything that we publish, whether it is our episodes or whether it's a news article or a review, you can do that. And you can do that on our Facebook page. You can do that on the article itself at tggeeks.com. Well, you can do it at Instagram and Twitter. All of those places, you can leave a comment and we will talk about you on the air. If you want to leave us a voicemail, we have a voicemail line and we'll play that on air and then you can be famous like us.
Like Pia.
Yeah. And you can call 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. And as always, please play nice. Where am I? I've lost my mind today. I have a headache. As everybody knows, we are huge supporters of independent creators, whether it's filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or others. Please check them out. Check out their Etsy pages, their Facebook pages, their websites, their Instagram, Twitter pages. Any place that you find independent creators, check out their stuff, chat them up. Tell other people about them, buy their stuff, especially since right now all of the convention scene is dried up for this year and they have no outlet for their wares. So please consider supporting independent creators. The Joshua Tree Feeding Program is a 501c3 nonprofit food pantry for the HIV and AIDS community in Maricopa and Pinal counties. They offer a place where clients can select from a wide assortment of nutritional foods to take home. And we say they can choose from because they set it up just like a store so the clients can choose what they want and no food is wasted. Please consider supporting Joshua Tree through a single gift or a monthly recurring gift. You can do that at jtfp.org. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
I said I had a headache. It's these allergies. Oh, my God. It's just,
I'm having some bad
since we started
sinus
recording this thing, my head has just begun to split off my head, my neck.
Since the weather has cooled down, even though we still have highs in the hundreds, but the mornings are nicer, so there's all this pollen in the air. Anyway, moving along. Time for our second segment.
Yes.
And we saw, as did so many other people this past Thursday, we caught the premiere for Season 3 of Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, my God.
You know, I liked it.
I did too.
I liked it. I'm not going to say
liked
that
it. I think it's probably one of the best episodes that they've done.
Okay. I mean, to me, I did not see that as being like, wow, this was like, knocked it out of the park. Holy smokes, this was like the best thing I'd ever seen. But it was very good. It was very well done.
Well, it was a good introduction.
It was a great introduction to this
after the cliffhanger. Yes,
I know, and
season.
This is a reboot of sorts.
Exactly.
But this is the right kind of reboot. If you're going to totally change the series, the tone of the show, and move it in a new direction, this is the way to do it. I think they did an amazing job. Now, what's fascinating is social media. We're going to talk a little bit about David Slayton in a moment. But he commented on Facebook. He says, "Oh, Star Trek Discovery, how I missed you. What a premiere. And it was impossible to miss the theme of rebuilding a fallen dream, of finding hope, and not connect that to so many of us, how we feel American these days." Somebody wrote, was this not the same storyline to Andromeda?
No.
Yes, it is. It's about a ship. Well, think about it. Spaceship Andromeda. And of course, Andromeda We're talking about the series that was initially proposed by Gene Roddenberry.
Oh.
That series.
That
where they go
Andromeda.
into this really weird time warp kind of thingy, and then they come out, it's far in the future, and the Federation, whatever the organization that the Andromeda was a part of, no longer exists. And now he's going to try and rebuild it.
I see.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Although I have a feeling this is going to take a better tack at it, because that show, while Andromeda felt it was very pop, light popcorn kind of eating. It didn't take itself all that seriously. I really like the tone that Discovery took. It felt like, I don't want to say that it was like overly serious, but I like how it addressed the feelings of hope and optimism in trying to build something together.
Well, and then there's a crucial scene towards the end.
Oh, it's a fantastic scene.
It's like, holy moly!
Yeah, it was a great moment.
Yeah, it would. Well, there was water.
Yeah, it was very emotional. I was
In
very
my eyes.
It was very, very well done.
Yeah,
I was extremely happy with the way this show started. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this is the start of something really good. Even though Alex Kurtzman is still the executive producer, they've got some good showrunners, the actual producers of the series itself, who are handling, the day-to-day production efforts of the show and its creative direction. I feel very good about it.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic to see where this is all going to head.
Exactly. And we want to talk about White Trash Warlock. We talked to David last Monday. I published a review on Saturday, and I'll have to say that I loved the book. It was incredible. David is a very good storyteller, and his way of describing things, right out of my review, he describes tastes, smells, and just textures, and it helps you to inhabit that universe.
Yeah, but something that you wrote in your review is that, now, of course, the both of you are from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So
that helped.
Yeah. So he was able to describe things that you have memories of. And that really brought the home story, that brought the setting very much home to you. Yeah. And I think in that respect, it made it even more immersive as a reading experience for you.
Exactly. And the story was good too. I mean, it was a compelling story. I can't wait to see where it's going. He said that he's got 3 books and possibly a 4th if they definitely 3 books, but possibly a 4th and more, should they pick it up. So I'm excited to see, as I said at the end of my review, the only negative part of finishing this book was that there was no more.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm reading, okay, so we brought up David Slayton. What's interesting is that we interviewed him the same day we interviewed Gregory Ash. I'm reading an early copy of his, a new book. It's not published yet. I need to get in touch with him and find out when he wants this review to come out. This is a really, I'm going to call it a Cajun horror story. That's what it comes across to me. I mean, it's set in the very swampy areas of Louisiana, and this is a really dark horror story that initially deals with a lot of PTSD, very psychological. It's a monster story, so it's not
monsters.
Monsters. I actually am very much enjoying it. Like I said, I need to get in touch with Greg, find out when this book is going to come out, when he wants my review to come out, because it all rests on him. But it's interesting now that we've
hear that, Greg.
Yeah. See that, Greg? You got mentioned in the episode.
Yeah.
And I can imagine he's probably just jumping up and down in his seat. His arms are waving wildly. Yay! So yes, I'll be getting in touch with Greg to find out when he wants that review to come out. But it's interesting that to become friends with David and Greg and have their new works to talk about already.
Yeah. And that all came about by Katie Edwards. Yeah. He introduced us to both of them.
Yeah.
So, well, now we're ready for the next piece.
And this is a review of all the items that we ran on our website this past week, and we will have the links for each of these stories in the show notes for this episode 296 at tggeeks.com, starting with Sunday, October 11th, Nerdy Chupacabras number 17. On Monday the 12th, TG Geeks episode number 295. On Tuesday the 13th, Just for Laughs chooses Tribes as the funniest short film from around the world. Deservedly so. Can I just say that is one of the most amazing short films I've ever seen.
It is. And we talked to Nino, who was the director, and just how they filmed that.
It's a brilliantly filmed
film. Yeah.
I mean, not only is it terribly funny, but it is extremely thoughtful too. It deserves to be chosen. Wednesday, October 14th, Ben's Gay Breakdown. For a strong gay police story, look no further than 0 Hour. On Thursday the 15th, Andrea's Angle. Time shows a true and intimate portrait of love, and Time is a documentary. Friday the 16th, Hamish Downey's 5 Questions with Josh Stifter. And on Saturday the 17th, Welcome to the World of a White Trash Warlock. That is Keith's Corner.
And you can find all these things at tggeeks.com.
Need to give a couple of shout-outs. First to the Arkle Times Post-Dispatch News. It's put up by the human Arkle, Brian Weber. You hear his feedback on our show from time to time, and the Post-Dispatch News semi-regularly republishes our content as well, which is why we give the shout-out. You can find the Post-Dispatch News by finding Arkle himself on Twitter, and do that by searching for Arkle at ARKLE. And while you're doing that, go to YouTube and check out his YouTube channel, Arkle Studios. Brian has a number of projects, his Shameless Cash Grab series, his Rants vs. Zombies series, and his game videos of Trick and Treat and Star Trek Online. And I admit that I've been negligent. I've been meaning to go there the last couple of weeks and just have not had the opportunity.
Yeah, he's regularly releasing content now. So.
Yes. Yay for Brian.
Yay, Brian.
We must also give some shout-outs to a couple of Facebook groups for also allowing us to share our content there. First, Two Gay Geeks After Hours. Big thanks to the moderators for literally allowing us to share away our content. The URL is facebook.com/groups/Gay Geeks After Hours. And then to The Gay Geek for also allowing us to share our lovely stuff there. And the URL is facebook.com/groups/The Gay Geek. That's all one word. Special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
Thank you, Jeremiah. And we can be found at Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Also, check us out on Krypton Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays, and listen to their other content on they are a 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can listen to our content while you surf the internet. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We'll have several links on the page of things that we talked about. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357 from TG Squared Studios. I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Stay home, stay safe, stay sane. Peace.
Cheers.